Hey everybody, welcome back to 32 Team Franchise. We have 3 weeks here to review. So starting off, we have week 14. We see the Jets taking on the Denver Broncos. Alex Smith delivers a victory here, going up 9-4 on the year, 23-17 for the New York Jets. Then we get ourselves a AFC East matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Cam Newton and the Dolphins are able to defeat their division opponent 24-13. Mariota was held under 100 yards passing. Dolphins move up 7-6 on the year. Still a solid year, even though they've had some challenges. Then we've got the Eagles versus the Commanders in the NFC East matchup. And we see Teddy Bridgewater dropping the dime there for a beautiful touchdown. That was to Ted Ginn Jr., the veteran speedster. 28-26, very close game. Eagles are still the bottom team in the NFC East after Donovan McNabb retired last season. And so we have Arizona Cardinals taking on their rival in the West, the Los Angeles Rams. But here it is, Ty Montgomery catching the ball on the screen pass there for a touchdown. 42-24, pounding by the Rams. And the Cardinals fall to 4-9. Rams rise up to 8-5. Then we got the Packers hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in this matchup here, we see Paxton Lynch running the ball up the middle, getting a touchdown. 13-10, a very defensive matchup here in the NFC here. And then we have week 15. Here we go. A handoff to the running back, and we see the Colts running in there for a touchdown, defeating the Minnesota Vikings. So that is Drew Brees and defeating Robert Griffin III. Then we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Aaron Rodgers versus Pittsburgh. And there you see a huge run there by the Tennessee Titan. 17-16. That's Jonathan Stewart, the running back. Roethlisberger gets over 200 yards, but it's not enough. The Titans squeak by for a victory. Then we have the Denver Broncos taking on the Las Vegas Raiders here in week 15. We got Matt Ryan back to pass, looking to throw, and he just drops the dot there. Beautiful touchdown pass there. That's 28-23 is this week's score here in the AFC West. So the Raiders were 0-9. Now they have a 3-1 record these last few games. Then we got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Baltimore Ravens, the battle of the Angry Birds. And here we see Garoppolo throws the ball, gets hit, and it's intercepted by Jarrell Casey, the defensive lineman, who runs it in for a touchdown. This was a smack job. The Ravens go and just completely destroy the Falcons 28-7. There we go. The Lions taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions are the number 1 team in the NFC, and they're going to keep that streak going. There we see a beautiful touchdown pass, just getting all around all the defenders. That was 38-10. Buccaneers did not have much of a chance there. Ladarius Green there with the beautiful big touchdown. Then we got the Packers taking on the Carolina Panthers. So there we see a handoff there to Jeremy Hill, and he is gone. He brushes off the defender. 24-3. Paxton Lynch struggles in this game. Can't even score a touchdown. Flacco gets his team higher up there. They're close to challenging the Lions for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Then we got the Jets versus the Chargers. Jets are the number 1 team in the AFC East. Chargers are fighting their way to be the top in the AFC West. Jerick McKinnon, who's been doing a great job since the injury to Arian Foster, they win 34-21. Then we got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders. So NFC East matchup, we see the running back Jaquise Rogers running it in for a touchdown. Garrett Gilbert gets another victory, 27-24. Easy to be a good quarterback when you have Julio Jones to throw to. And Zach Ertz. Oh, no, Travis Kelce, excuse me. And then we got another weekly recap here for the week 16. So here we go. Drew Brees connecting with his man, Chris Johnson. And he runs it in for a touchdown. 23-28. We have the Indianapolis Colts defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars. They fall 3-12. Colts rise up to 10-5, being the number 1 team in the AFC. Then you got the Eagles versus the Panthers. So big matchup here. You got the dominant Panthers, and they come away with the victory over the Eagles, 21-20. So they were just 1 point away, the Eagles, from upsetting the Panthers, but Panthers get an 11-win season so far. Then we got the Patriots against the Bills. Both teams at 7-7 here, but unfortunately the Patriots are going to fall to the 4th place here in the AFC East. They fall 7-8. Bills go 8-7. Mariota with 3 touchdowns, 233 yards. Brady having some turnover trouble. Not a good year for the Patriots. Then we got the Lions taking on the Packers. And here we see a shock where the Packers come away with a victory. That's a pass from Lynch to Santonio Holmes. 21-20. Tight game here in Week 16. This was a big loss for the Lions because they're trying to stay number 1 in the NFC and didn't really work out well for them as the Panthers are on their heels. But then in a blizzard here in, I believe it's MetLife Stadium, for the New York Jets. So the Jets failed to come away at home as the blizzard winners were the Chicago teams, the Chicago Bears. Carson Wentz, as you see, a nice touchdown pass there to his tight end. Then we have a battle of the AFC North. So the Ravens are ahead of the Bengals by a game, and it is Derek Carr coming away with a beautiful victory, 17-12. Very much a defensive performance. That's James Hardy there with the touchdown. So yeah, rough game for the Ravens, really wanting to stay on top of the AFC North, but the Bengals challenged them very well. Then we got the Giants taking on the Los Angeles Rams. And here we see a handoff to the running back, that's Ben Tate. They also have Derrick Henry. So 27-15 is the score here in LA. So let's get some updates around the league. We see the Jets are 9-6. Bills, Dolphins 8-7. Patriots are 7-8. So Bills and Dolphins fighting in that playoff picture in the AFC for the wild card seeds. Then we've got the Ravens and Bengals at 10-5. Pittsburgh 8-7, also fighting for a playoff seed, and the Browns at the bottom with 3-12 after that injury to Pryor. Definitely not good for their future. We'll see if they're going to go back to QB hell very shortly due to that injury to their quarterback. Then we got the Indianapolis Colts, 10-5. They hold the number 1 seed right now currently for the AFC. You got the Titans right behind them at 8-7. They're the ones in the wild card as well at 8-7. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 3-12 and the Houston Texans at 2-13. The AFC West, we see the Los Angeles Chargers at 8-7, Denver Broncos 6-9. It was a race between the Chargers and the Broncos, but it appears that the Chargers have a 2-game lead, which there are 2 more weeks left, so the division is not locked in yet. But if the Chargers can pull away a victory in one of these next 2 games, they will lock down the AFC West, or if the Broncos lose a game, then they're also going to be out. Then you got the Chiefs and Raiders both at 4-11. The NFC East, we got the Cowboys 10-5, Giants and Commanders at 9-6, and the Philadelphia Eagles 7-8. They very much could be a 500-plus team this year with the Eagles. However, it's definitely a down year compared to where they usually are, which is at the top of the division. And so then we have the Detroit Lions, 11-4, and the Packers right behind them at 9-6, and both the Vikings and Bears are 8-7. So a very competitive NFC North with every team at 53% win percentage or above. The Carolina Panthers are at 11-4. They have clinched the playoffs because the Saints are far enough away. We see 8-7 there with the New Orleans Saints. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6-9, very nice. The Atlanta Falcons 5-10. NFC West, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 10-5. Seattle Seahawks 9-6, and then we've got 49ers 8-7, and the Cardinals at 4-11. So when we look at some player stats here, we got Cam Newton leading the way. With then Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, and Roethlisberger, top 5. Carr, Sanchez, Garrett Gilbert, the Andrew Luck, Andy Dalton, top 10. Touchdown leaders, we've got Rodgers with 38, Mark Sanchez with 37, Brady at 36. Now, interception leaders has been Matt Ryan. He's had a rough year, 23 interceptions. Garrett Gilbert right behind him. Garrett Gilbert going way beyond his overall and his real life ceiling. So he's been doing pretty well in this franchise. If we switch over to running, we see Kevin Smith is the leading rush leader at 1279. We had Jeremy Hill, Bradshaw, Ajayi, Spiller, Martin, Matthews, Richardson, Gordon III, and Ingram II. We see Marshawn Lynch is the other running back, over 1,000 yards rushing here at the end of week 16. DeMarco Murray, just 3 yards. Javid Best, 4 yards. Zeke, 10 yards in his rookie debut, rookie season. When we look at some of our touchdown leaders, we've got Bernard, White, Spiller, Martin, and Elliott. And a good number from Gurley all the way up, having double-digit touchdowns this season. 20-plus yard runs, we got Murray and Jerick McKinnon. They're having some good explosive runs. Fumblers are a lot of the quarterbacks, so Garoppolo, Mariota, Dalton, Deion Lewis, and Russell Wilson. Lewis, the running back there. Then looking at receivers. A big portion of Garrett Gilbert's success is Julio Jones, then Calvin Johnson Jr., so no surprise there that those two are leading the way. T.Y. Hilton for the Panthers is up there. One of Joe Flacco's main receiving targets, Hakeem Nicks. Then Tyreek Hill, who is a rookie. He's a top 5 receiver here in his very first season as a Colt. Percy Harvin, Josh Gordon, Beckham Jr., Larry Fitzgerald, and Darius Hayward-Bay round up the top 10. Only 4 with over 1,000 yards receiving currently. Touchdown leaders is Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Quick, Cooper, Johnson, Beckham Jr., and Rob Gronkowski with 12 and above. Gordon, Bryant, White, Cameron, Hilton, Marvin Jones Jr., Hardy, all with, or no, not Hardy, but Jones Jr. with 10 double-digit touchdowns. So we've got Tyreek Hill with 10 drops. So he's got a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, but also a lot of drops. We see Mike Wallace behind him with 9, and there's a good number of them with 9 here, Chris Moore included. Tackles, we got Kenny Phillips with 102, tied with Stephon Anthony. We look at sack leaders. We got Derek Morgan with the Bengals and Dante Fowler Jr. with 12, Everson Griffin with 11, and Olivier Vernon with 10.5. Kareem Martin with 9.5, tied with Robert Quinn for 5. Safety, we got 3 of them, Barr, Lawrence, Jarrell Worthy. Interceptions, we got Jamar Taylor, Patrick Willis with 6. We got a good number with 5, Chung, Rhodes, Morgan, Mauga, Barron, and Dominique Rogers-Cromartie, all with 5. And so when we look at, let's see, what else do we want to show you? I think maybe league leaders here, like award races. So the Coach of the Year race has Roman Pfeiffer, who is the Panthers coach, in his first year as head coach after John Fox separated from the Panthers after some slower seasons. We got the New York Giants, which is John Gruden. Dallas Cowboys is Mike Shanahan. The Indianapolis Colts is Jason Garrett. And then the New York Jets is Chip Kelly. So they're the top 5 Coach of the Year candidates. Most valuable player is Cam Newton with Aaron Rodgers behind him, Marcus Mariota. Mark Sanchez doing well with Coach John Gruden. And then RG3, who did, though, just suffer a huge season-ending injury, so his chances of MVP are gone. Julio Jones leads the way for Offensive Player of the Year. Patrick Willis for the Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year is definitely going to be likely Tyreek Hill. He's having a fantastic rookie season. Joey Bosa, also with the Colts. So if you wonder why they were the splash screen, that's why. So Colts are just slaying it this season. I'm surprised Jason Garrett isn't higher up. So best quarterback, Sanchez so far. Chris Johnson, Julio Jones, Derek Morgan for best lineman, Patrick Willis for linebacker, and Patrick Chung for best defensive back. So there you have it, the update here. So the Panthers have clinched the playoffs. They're the first team to do so. And the playoff picture, we're still working our way through. A lot of teams and a lot of potential changes between these last 2 weeks, week 17 and week 18. Some injuries if you want to just take a look at. We got Chandler and Campbell. McFadden's out for the year for the Bucks. Von Miller and Aaron Donald out for the Packers as they tried to get into this playoff picture because they're not there yet. We see some David Johnson's been out for the year for the Miami Dolphins, so they ended up signing a running back. Let's go get that answer for you. They traded with the 49ers. Niall Davis, that's right, Niall Davis. And so they are 8-7, so they take on the Patriots. It'll be interesting to see if the Patriots can claw their way back in the playoff picture. It is possible, but 10th seed is not as good as being the 8th seed looking in. We got Olivier Vernon and RG3 out, and Blake Countess for the Vikings, but RG3 is out for the year, so Tyrod Taylor is going to be taking the helm in Minnesota. Tommy Harris out for the Cowboys. Matthew Slater out for the Jags. Terrell Pryor is a big loss for Cleveland, but they're just having a rough year. Anyways, Julio Jones has been inactive for this following week, so we'll see how Jason Garrett holds up against the Titans. Muhammad Wilkerson also out for the Titans there. We got, let's see, anything relevant here. Melvin Ingram out for the Eagles. Inunwa and Slauson out for the Cards. Aaron Foster and Emmanuel Ogba out for the Chargers. And there we go. Your former top pick there, Cameron Irving, out for the Saints. So yeah, I'm going to keep on chugging away at the 32-team franchise, wanting to finish this Madden season, the Madden 26, do the off season, and be ready to potentially transfer this franchise on to Madden 27. So if you like this series, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, I don't give as many updates as maybe other YouTubers, which maybe I should, but I do try to keep this franchise growing slowly and steadily as we conclude what will be the 15th season since 2002. And we'll get to the draft with Myles Garrett, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, ew. But we have a lot of those coming up. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.